Welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be guiding you through today's session. We are unpacking some incredibly powerful insights from executive coach Bill G. Tingle on how technology directors and VPs can successfully make that huge leap from middle management to a coveted seat in the C-suite. If you've ever wondered what actually separates the folks who plateau from the ones who become a CIO, CTO, or CISO, you are in exactly the right place. Let's jump right in.
So we really have to start with this highly counterintuitive question. Why do genuinely excellent tech leaders plateau? It's kind of a massive irony, honestly. Think about it. The intense tactical firefighting skills, diving into the architecture, closing tickets, stabilizing platforms, delivering projects under crazy pressure, those are the exact reasons someone earns a VP title. But here's the catch. They are also the exact same reasons those leaders get denied the top roles. Being the ultimate fixer actually becomes a trap.
All right, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The technology leadership trap. 2. Why strategy is not a thing. 3. The new boardroom reality. 4. Tactical versus strategic leaders. And finally, 5. Your 90-day action plan.
Starting off with Section 1, the technology leadership trap, and exactly why technical excellence just isn't enough anymore. You know, it's super tempting to believe the path to the C-suite is this straight, logical line. You master the tech, deliver reliably, manage a bigger budget, and boom, they hand you the C-level title. But that straight line? It's a complete myth. Just look at this quote. The boardroom does not promote people for tactical excellence. It promotes people for demonstrated strategic leadership. This is absolutely crucial. Boards want enterprise strategists who can translate technology into actual business value, not just operational stewards.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. According to the executive search firm Caldwell, in over 75% of enterprise CIO searches, candidates are expected to be fully board-ready. That means stepping into the boardroom, engaging in high-level strategic debates, and speaking the language of business completely fluently. If you are entirely focused on operational stability, you are literally missing out on 3/4 of the market's demand right out of the gate.
Moving right along to Section 2, strategy is not a thing. We've got to get the vocabulary right.
If you want to be seen as strategic, you first have to stop using the word strategy incorrectly. Without a precise vocabulary, it's pretty much impossible to prove you're a strategic thinker. So consider this definition. A strategy is a sequence of tactics that produces one or more interim situations and, ultimately, an intended future situation that takes care of a business concern. See, a task is just an independent action. A tactic creates a short-term situation, but a true strategy is a complete narrative plan. A lot of incredibly talented tech folks operate totally at the task level and mistakenly call it a strategy.
Now, what's really interesting here is this stark contrast between an aspiration and an actual strategy. Telling the board your strategy is to be a one-stop shop for tech, that's an aspiration. An approved list of software tools, not a strategy. An architecture diagram, definitely not a strategy. As legendary business thinker Michael Porter points out, real strategy demands narrative discipline. It requires deliberate, often difficult choices about what your team is absolutely not going to do. It's all about trade-offs.
So, to build that narrative, a real strategy needs some very specific structural elements. You need a jargon-free description. You need conditions of satisfaction, which is basically the executive version of a definition of done. You need guiding principles and a concrete plan of action. Missing even one of these? Well, that turns your strategy into mere wishful thinking in the eyes of the board.
Section 3, the new boardroom reality. Let's look at the data-backed urgency for tech leaders.
Even if you have the vocabulary down perfectly, you've got to understand how dramatically boardroom expectations have shifted. Deloitte reports that only 36% of board members have full confidence in their technology leaders. Let that sink in. That means 64% lack full confidence. Boards struggle to evaluate tech, and executives often fail to link tech investments to financial growth. But hey, this massive confidence gap is actually an enormous opportunity for you. The VP who can confidently translate tech into business language becomes the absolute obvious choice when the top seat opens up.
And these structural shifts are happening incredibly fast. For security leaders, Heidrick & Struggles notes that direct reporting to the CEO nearly tripled, jumping from 5% in 2023 to 14% in 2024. Cybersecurity is no longer just a back-office IT compliance checklist. No way. It is a top-tier, board-level enterprise risk conversation. If you're on the CISO track, you have got to reframe cyber risk as enterprise risk tied directly to corporate resilience. We also absolutely have to talk about AI. McKinsey data shows that while 88% of organizations report regular AI use, nearly 2/3 are struggling to scale it. Running a neat little AI pilot, that's not a differentiator anymore. Boards are demanding a business-aligned roadmap with governance, clear priorities, and most importantly, measurable financial value. They want to see how you move from just experimenting to a disciplined realization of actual value.
All right, Section 4, Tactical versus Strategic Leaders. Let's break down the behavioral shifts. The differences between a manager and a strategist aren't some big mystery. They're observable, everyday habits. It starts with the very questions you ask when you sit down at your desk. A tactical leader asks what system, project, or incident must be handled next. They are totally driven by the cue. But a strategic leader, they ask, what future business situation are we producing, and what conditions of satisfaction will prove it actually worked? This shift in mindset is just huge. It forces you to connect every single piece of daily work directly to an intended business outcome.
When recruiters evaluate candidates, this is basically the scorecard they use. On the promotable side, financial literacy is non-negotiable. You need jargon-free communication and the ability to play offense and defense simultaneously, meaning you drive growth while seamlessly managing risk. On the flip side, the derailers that keep people stuck in middle management are avoiding financial accountability, heavily relying on technical jargon, and failing to build sponsorship with peers in finance, legal, and HR.
And finally, Section 5, your 90-day action plan. It's time to build the evidence base for your promotion.
Understanding the theory is great and all, but promotion committees want documented evidence of your strategic capability. So here are the habits you need to start executing today. First, rewrite your top 3 initiatives as full strategy narratives. Build a one-page scorecard highlighting financial and customer impacts, not just uptime. Practice a crisp 5-minute board-ready pitch regularly. Partner deeply with finance before you ever ask for a budget. And this one is huge. Keep a trade-offs file. Documenting exactly where you said no to protect a business outcome is quite literally the clearest evidence of strategic judgment you can possibly provide.
You also want to integrate these 3 steps right into your workflow. Step 1. Force your AI initiatives out of the novelty phase and into a governed discipline with measurable targets. Step 2. Make it an absolute reflex to translate every single technical risk into a business risk connected to growth or competitive positioning. And Step 3. Coach your successor. Boards need to know that promoting you isn't going to create a leadership vacuum below you. And the beauty of all of this? None of these steps require you to have a new title first. They are practices you can adopt today to prove you are already an enterprise strategist.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to take back to your desk. Look at the very next initiative on your calendar and ask yourself honestly, are you just managing tasks or are you architecting outcomes? The path to the C-suite doesn't start when you get the promotion. It starts with the narrative discipline you apply to the work right in front of you. Keep learning, keep focusing on those outcomes, and I will catch you in the next explainer.